So, overthinking and anxiety, how to get beyond, how to master overthinking and anxiety. Well, mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of intentionally focusing on your present moment, what is taking place right now, while calmly acknowledging and accepting your thoughts, your feelings, your bodily sensations, and the surrounding environment. Mindfulness is a single way to overcome anxiety and overthinking. Anxiety and overthinking plague, and yes, plague, a lot of us because whether we are professional or not, whether we are seasoned in years or not, there comes a time more often than not where we overthink and we're in our minds a lot. And we are burdened with the trepidation of what could be. So mindfulness, it involves being fully aware of what is happening right now, without judgment, without distraction, without being overwhelmed by what's happening around you. What is happening now? At its core, mindfulness is about cultivating an open and non-reactive state of mind. An open and non reactive state of mind, mastering your emotions, where you adhere to your thoughts and your experiences as they arise without being emotionally entangled with them. The emotion brings on the additional thinking. So it encourages an awareness of the here and now, helping individuals disengage from automatic or habitual reactions to thoughts and to situations. Mindfulness is often associated with meditation, but it can be practiced at any moment throughout the day. Eyes closed, eyes open, driving, meditating, it doesn't matter. Whether you're eating, walking, working, or simply sitting quietly, mindfulness. It has at its roots in ancient meditational practice, especially in Buddhism, but in modern times, it's also recognized for its scientific benefits for reducing stress, enhancing emotional regulation, and improving focus on our well being. So, today we're going to talk about how to master overthinking and anxiety. Welcome, guys, into Rethink. Whether you're on the YouTube side watching us on video or whether you're on the podcast side listening to us, you are welcome into yet another powerful and innovative reevaluation of a previous thought pattern. And that, of course, is overthinking and anxiety. If you've not done so already, please subscribe to our podcast. Go in and make sure that you are subscribed so that you don't forget who we are and where we are. Welcome new and first time listeners and viewers. Please subscribe as well on the YouTube side, of course. Please subscribe there. We will, of course, love to have you as a subscriber. And don't forget, please, to share our content with your family members, your loved ones, your associates, your friends, your coworkers, things like that. Thank you so much for doing that. Please ensure that you check out our show notes for any giveaways and different links that are in the show notes. Overthinking and anxiety. Here's the issue. Overthinking is a common problem that has affected people for centuries. So it involves repetitive and unproductive thought patterns that lead to anxiety and self-doubt. And I'm sure if you're of a certain age, you have dealt with overthinking, and you know that overthinking leads to anxiety and stress. Historically, though, overthinking has been recognized in various traditions, including Stoicism and Buddhism, where calming the mind and staying present are essential for peace and for enlightenment. The reason why we want to talk about it today, because you as high performing individuals, you have a lot on your mind. And if you're not aware of how to control that, it can overtake you. So what is success? What is achievement if we are being burdened, if we are being riddled by thoughts and these thought patterns, i.e. overthinking and leading to anxiety? So today, overthinking is understood to be a significant cause of anxiety, and studies show that it leads to mental exhaustion, which I can attest to, indecision, yes, and feelings of being overwhelmed. So we want to avoid all of that. Not only do we want the best case scenario in terms of our achievement and our goals, our destination, we want that to be achieved, but we want the best journey as well. We don't want to get to our vacation, but we've been on, a very turbulent flight, right? We want the best flight to the best destination. So let's talk today about how to overcome overthinking and anxiety. So we gave you a solution coming in, and it's mindfulness. The topic is important because overthinking doesn't just create anxiety, it holds you back from living a fulfilled and a peaceful life. So, the opportunity here is to break free from the habit of overthinking and to start making clear, empowered decisions that align with your higher self, The top opportunity here in understanding and overcoming overthinking is the chance to unlock your potential and to live a more grounded and present life, in a more present way. There are 5 things we're going to talk about in terms of benefits. Number 1 is clarity and focus. Clarity and focus. Overthinking clouds your judgment. It clouds our judgment. We got too much going on, making it hard to see things clearly. So it's hard for us to make a clear, concise, and very distinct decision. Breaking free from this pattern will give us the clarity to act decisively. Here's an example. Instead of spending hours analyzing every possible outcome, you just simply focus on what matters most and make a confident decision. Number 2, peace of mind. Overthinking creates a cycle of anxiety and stress. Learning to control your thoughts will bring a deep sense of inner peace. This is the thing that we desire. This is the thing really. Yes, achievement. Yes, success. Yes, manifestations of the things that we say we want. But ultimately, the reason we want them is because of how they will make us feel. And part of that feeling, outside of joy and happiness, is peace. And overthinking and anxiety are the opposites of peace. Number 3 is improved productivity. If overthinking leads to clouded judgment, indecisiveness, then of course it's going to lead to improved or a diminishment of productivity. So what we want is to improve our productivity. So overthinking wastes time and energy. So when you cut through the mental clutter, you can move forward with greater efficiency. You have a clearer path in order to see your end goal because a lot of the thoughts that don't need to be there are out of the way. Here's an example. You'll find yourself making quicker decisions and getting more done as you no longer hold back by doubt and second guessing. When you got a lot of thoughts going on, you can have a thought of progression and then you have a thought of regression. So it's forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. And what you want is to go forward. Number 4, self-trust. Overthinking erodes self-confidence. Overthinking erodes self-confidence. You are in your mind too much. You have a solution, but as soon as you have a solution, you counteract it with another problem. Overthinking erodes self-confidence. So by learning to manage your thoughts, you will rebuild trust with yourself and with your confidence, your abilities. And then lastly, being present. That's what mindfulness is, being right now in the present moment. Overthinking pulls you out of the present moment. When you are overthinking, usually you're lamenting on the past or you are having some sort of trepidation about what is to come. Neither of those are right now. Neither of those are the present moment. So gaining control over your mind helps you to stay grounded in the here and the now. This is where life is right now, in the present moment, mindfulness. So how do we overcome it, Kelly? How do we get past it? What do we need to do? What are some practical things that we can do? Well, mindfulness. Mindfulness and meditation is usually always in the recipe, always in the antidote. This is why it works, because mindfulness trains you to stay grounded. Being mindful trains you to stay grounded in the present moment. Well, why is that important? It reduces the impact of anxious thoughts. If you are thinking about the future, these things have not and possibly could not even happen. But that's what's bringing about the anxiety. That's what's bringing about the stress. That's the trepidation. If you allow your mind to move into these areas, it's going to continue to do that. However, if you train yourself to stay in the present moment, you just ask yourself, am I okay right now? Am I okay right now? Is everything at this moment okay? Usually the answer is yes. And if you can stay in the present moment, you can train your mind to be quiet, which will allow you to make a decision, a really good decision about what those next steps can be. But not only make a good decision, but if you can allow your mind to be quiet, you can hear that still small voice, that inner voice, that God part of you that is guiding you into the direction that you should go. Here's what I ask you to do to cultivate mindfulness in your life. Number one, commit to a daily practice. Let's start off with 10 minutes. Commit to a daily 10-minute mindfulness meditation practice that can help to calm your mind, regulate your brain, and to focus on the present moment. To focus on the present moment. The second part of what you need to do in order to be able to overcome overthinking and anxiety is to reframe the way that you're thinking to begin with. Reframe your thoughts. Why this works is overthinking often comes from negative, repetitive thoughts. There's a slim chance that, what you wake up this morning thinking is different than what you woke up yesterday morning. You've thought those thoughts before. You've thought those anxious thoughts before to the point that they become comfortable. It's very repetitive. And so what I'm suggesting to you is to reframe your thoughts. Think new things. Negative thoughts do not play a part in your success. Reframe your thoughts into something more positive and productive that can help you throughout this cycle. Here's an example. When you catch yourself thinking negatively, simply reframe the thoughts. We've talked about this ad nauseum here on the channel, that it's important to interrogate, to isolate that first negative thought. Why? Because that negative thought, if allowed by your conscious mind, your gatekeeper, it will be followed 17 seconds later with a similar thought. You must recognize as the gatekeeper what is coming through the gate. And if it is a negative thought, you must stop it by interrogating it. What are you doing here? Why am I thinking this? I don't believe this is true. I don't believe this thought belongs here. Lastly, take action quickly. Overthinking leads to analysis paralysis. So when you act quickly, you disrupt the mental the mental loop and build momentum. You disrupt the mental loop and you build momentum. Here's an example. The next time that you're stuck in an overthinking spiral, choose one small action to take immediately, whether it is sending an email or making a decision. In other words, don't allow the inevitable to continue to be regurgitated. Take an action. Get in motion so that you can counteract some of these thoughts. So, implementing these strategies, you can expect to experience greater peace, greater productivity, and confidence in your daily life. Here's some benefits to overcoming anxiety and overthinking. You're going to have greater mental clarity. You're going to reduce your anxiety, your stress. You're going to increase your focus. You're going to strengthen your self-trust. It is so important for you to be able to trust yourself. And then you're going to have a peace about you. Lastly, you'll have a peace about you. If you notice throughout your day, morning to night, you have a level of uncertainty. Maybe you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Maybe you're waiting for this bad news. Maybe you're waiting for something to happen, something to come to an end. Reframe your thoughts. Instead of for something to come to an end, consider what could be birthed out of this challenge. Consider of what could happen today that could catapult you into your destiny. Instead of considering the negative parts of what could happen, reverse it. Consider only the positive and do it for 30 days and see what happens. Do it for 30 days and see what happens. Now, many, if not most of us, have dealt with, continue to deal with overthinking, which leads to anxiety and stress. So no matter what stage or age of life you're in, situations and events present themselves that can lead you into a response, an emotional response, yes, that could be one of overthinking and anxiety. So what I would do is this. I would be mindful from the standpoint of watchful. I would watch and listen to see how my mental conversations go. And only because you talk to yourself all day, every day. How are your mental conversations going? Are they positive or negative? Are they optimistic or are they pessimistic? Do you feel fearful when you finish these conversations with yourself? It's a key indicator. If that is the case, you need to listen to this podcast again. You need to really delve into mindfulness. You need to really be able to calm your mind by slowing down the thoughts and interrogating negative thoughts, not allowing them into your mental presence. This is the way for you to compete and to really overcome overthinking, which leads to anxiety. And that is, of course, mindfulness. So be aware of what's happening right now without judgment, without distraction, and without overwhelm. That is mindfulness. Being aware of the now without judgment or distraction and without being overwhelmed. That is mindfulness. So guys, thank you for hanging out with me. Quick today, but hopefully powerful. I know a lot of us deal with overthinking, and of course, it leads into anxiety and stress. And I wanted to kind of bring this to you really quickly so that you can have this tool in your toolbox, mindfulness. And we need to understand more about mindfulness, and we need to really be engaged on a regular basis, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes a day of just being in the present moment. Of course, more is better. More is always better. If you can just consistently stay in the present moment, you can master your mind in terms of overthinking and anxiety. So again, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to comment, and don't forget to share our information, our content with your family members, your loved ones, your friends, and associates. It's been a great time hanging out with you today. Come back soon. We'll have more great content for you. Thanks.